Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to Blaine's Escape Corner, our little corner of the internet where we get together and we talk about the things that help us escape. Oh, baby boy. Fan site already with the links. Nico had a new PFP. That's true. He's now sus. What is this? Oh, it's like a cartoon compilation of Sonic the Hedgehog. All right, cool. Very fun. Fun way to start. Good job. Blaine, you saw the movie The First Kiss That Never Ends is real. What? Saw what movie? What movie did you see? Oh, we're continuing the whiskey. I thought about grabbing something else to bring up for tonight's drink of choice. But you know what? The weather's looking pretty sour tomorrow, and while sour weather in Seattle is normally pretty good, pretty great, pretty normal. We like our, 50-degree cloud blankie. It means that the pass is going to see inches of snow, and if the pass gets inches of snow, I'm not driving my trailer over there to get recertified just because some inspector says that I need to get it recerted. I'm rescheduling that. I also have the Washington Food Truck Association helping me push back against LNI to say, hey, no, you signed it, now let it pass. So we'll see how that goes. I've delayed my trip until the snow in the pass disappears. Because, yeah, it's one thing to throw chains on your four-wheel drive vehicle and go up through the pass. I've got three actually. No, I've got 3 all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive vehicles, all of which more than capable of handling the pass. If I don't have to drive a trailer through a snowy pass, I'm gonna put it off a week. So we'll pour ourselves some whiskey, and that'll be our drinkland of choice. Will be probably polishing off this bottle that I have had for 4 years, probably. It's a 4-year bottle. 4-year bottle I've owned. Kampai, everybody. All right, Jim and Area, Michael, Fansite, Lucy the Doberman, Lucifer, John Knight, welcome. We only have snow for a couple hours. We get decent weather on mid-Vancouver Island. Oh, so you're just a little north of me. Awesome. Awesome. You got some high 60s. Imagine having snow. Get out of here, you California. You and Nico with your snow snow? What? What is snow? Goofballs. Welcome, Kevin. You're drinking an Oban 12. Ooh. Very, very nice. I am a Highland Scotch guy myself. If it's not a bourbon in my glass, it's gonna be a Highland Scotch. Balvenie, Dalwhinnie, Glencadam for today. Any of those. So those are all good. Ladysmith. Hey, Kevin, Lightbringer. Lightbringer and John. It's safer not to drive through the snow with a trailer, Blaine. Good call. I just don't want, I have already received the trailer in a damaged state and had to bring it back to a functional state. I don't want to take it in a way that will make it damaged again before I ever make $1 using it. That would be not great. Not great at all. Bourbon is underrated. Is it? I feel like if you're saying bourbon is underrated, I question the people you talk about alcohol with. I feel like bourbon is one of those I don't know, about 4 years ago, sort of started taking over as the whiskey that America discusses. So it could just be a cultural thing where down here now, our bourbon aisle is bigger than the Scotch aisle because since the bourbon now is just aged in America, new oak cask, and aged for any period of time, you're not stuck with Kentucky or Tennessee or something like that. We even have bourbon here in Washington. Only Americans gush over it. America, that's the truth. That's the big tooth. You saw the movie with my dad, Blaine, the movie that follows 3 seasons of Love is War. Oh, that movie. Okay. Okay. You saw it with your old man who's only experienced Japan is Shredder. You took him to see Love is War? What? We're like, Dad, don't worry. Trust me. This is okay. Everything about this is going to be fine. He's like, I don't know what's going on here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, we got Pixelation in here too. What's up, friend? It's been a bit. Been a while. Been a while. Oh, I cannot wait. You only ask, can it fuck me up? And if the answer is yes, then you ask no questions. The very first thing I drank when I turned 21 was a pitcher of martinis. I filled like this pitcher, I don't know, probably 24 ounces of martini. I peed in a bowl that night because my buddy was like, oh shit, he's too drunk. He's not going to make it. And grabbed like a mixing bowl from the kitchen. Oh, that was not a time. That was not a time that I want to go back to. I enjoy my now time. My now time is good. Your mother asked to watch Old Boy with you 5 years ago. She watched it a couple weeks ago and said, I'm glad we didn't watch it together. What? Old Boy's great though. Old Boy's great. That I like. Someone might call that hallway fight scene overrated, but I think it's well rated. Like anyone who's like, that was a great scene, well shot, well choreographed, everything about it felt really good, had a good end. Like everything about that fight was fantastic. And if you say that it's overrated, I question like what's better than that fight scene. I don't know, man. I don't know, like that. Yeah, literally, that is the 10 out of 10 fight scene. Like, there's other fight scenes that are that good, but anyone who's like, it's overrated, it's like, get out of here. Let's have some fun. Oh my goodness. Sugar gets you before the alcohol. I mean, the alcohol kind of turns to sugar too. Finally, we're talking MHA. You had to watch other channels reviewing it. Well, I can't exactly tell you. It seemed you avoided it. Kind of. I kind of avoided it. Yeah, I didn't know why you wouldn't call it one of the best of all time. I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't. Anyone, like I said, anyone who does, I question their purpose. Like, what's the purpose in calling that not amazing? You dropped MHA. Interesting. I avoided it for ninjas. Hey, there's a ninja guy in the beginning. The war scene in Children of Men. No, I have not seen Children of Men. You waited for the dub? Same. Same. I prefer the way that now I have my qualms with the dub cast. I think some of the voices they pick are kind of like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you should have given this another take. Maybe you should try this line again. So as far as like the dub cast goes, sometimes I have my qualms with their quality. However, I prefer the translation that makes it through to the dub over the translation that they utilize in the subtitles. There's a really good explanation point video on the, I think, first and second season, where they were explaining how the Japanese terms are very passive. So, like, the world happens to you, whereas in English, it's I'm going to do this thing. So, even though our little buddy Deku is the luckiest kid in the world who happens to have All Might, happened to give him his powers and all that, right? Like, he is lucky and the world happens to him. His wording is like, yes, all this stuff is happening, but I'm going to fight. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get better. So it's I prefer that sort of like, even though things happen to you, you still have a positive way in which you're saying that you're taking action against the world. I haven't seen Children of Men. When did it come out? 2006. Okay, so I would have been 16 or so. I don't know, it just looked kind of boring. In 2006, I had access to a computer and torrent files and the whole of anime that I hadn't previously seen. So I had other things that I was catching up on than watching Children of Men. That's for sure. Welcome, George Ishak. Welcome. MHA had a full page spread of a character you like and fun turn the tables ending. Ooh, 10 out of 10. Nice. Reading MHA manga in the middle of last year sucked ass. That's why I don't read manga. That's why I watch anime. You proved God loves liquor long ago. How could you, like, I feel like that fact is self-evident. The fact that liquor exists proves that God likes liquor. If God didn't like liquor, liquor wouldn't exist. It has a lot of, like, negatives associated with it in our culture, but the fact that it continues to exist and be a thing and we haven't like exercised it as some sort of like demonic creating entity, God's probably taking care of it. You read ahead and experienced the gamut of emotions and caught up and was like, it's aight. Like MHA is a quality sandwich. It has good and bad. It seems to flip-flop IMO. It is it is a show in which the quality of the animation, the quality of the writing, the quality of like all of these things are all okay. They're all good enough. Like, it's like, yeah, this is really good. But like the premise of My Hero and this idea that you have an entire society, you have the syndrome society when everybody's super, no one is. But it's like there are still people who are more super than others. So you have a new sort of class-based society based on that. And so the setting and the premise of the whole series is very interesting. And I feel like over what I've seen so far in season 6, that's kind of devolving. We're taking less and less of a look at society and more of a traditional superhero comic design, which I know someone in chat is gonna be like, oh, but the society is the thing that is the focus of the attack and blah blah blah. And it's like, yes, they talk about the society and how it needs to break down as villainous, but at the end of the day, we're sort of taking what used to be sort of this ideological battle and turning it into, I bad guy, I want destroy, and I good guy, I stop bad guy. And it's getting a little dumber than it has been previously. Bum. People assume money equal intrinsically being important. Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes it's just the lack of, what the heck is it? It's tied with money oftentimes, but it's not actually monetary in nature. It's the scarcity. Scarcity makes something important. And usually we tie money to the scarcity of an item. So sometimes, you know, money can make something feel important, but there's stuff that's scarce that isn't very expensive, but is still important. There's other things that are abundant that are important, like oxygen. It's very important. Too busy screaming, data bio. Data bio? Date. MHA is trash in all honesty, but it's fire later. Ooh, a reverse take. That's why you're a weeb light. Booze prove God loves us. Grape exists. Carl, God don't like grape. But we take measures as a society to try to make rape not exist, right? We don't take measures as a society to make liquor not exist. We take measures as a society to make liquor more abundant, usually. The more you think about Windex Headman. It's Windex Headman. Everything outside Deku became less and less important. All right, I'm just going to burn through this real quick. Waiting for real of an air crawler in the main series manga. It's less important because of shitty writing. More of something, make it have less value. Not. Oh, yeah, 100%. Exactly, it's based on agenda motive, scarcity, one variable. What's something that's not scarce? Wait, are you saying importance is based on agenda and motive, or are you saying that value is based on agenda and motive? Either one. You could. I see the argument either way. TP is important, but it's so scarce. It's only scarce when you sit down and forgot to check. While we're being existential. You're off. All right, you have a good one, Pixel. People love liquor, but politics used to destabilize an area. Value. Okay. Okay. What is this? What have you sent to me? Why? No. I'm not watching that. Dragon Ruse can attest to that. It's true. All right. What have I seen? So let's talk. So we got major spoilers. Do I need the spoiler gun them up, or can I not have the spoiler gun? I'll leave him up. I'll leave him up. Right there. Little spoiler gun him in the corner for us. So that we remember this is My Hero spoilers. Did I hear about how Japanese men are actually all panda bears? What kind of meme is this? What are you saying? Now you're making me Google something. Japanese man panda bear. No. Theory suggests China gave pandas to Japan in the 7th century. There's panda bear tattoos. No. They're panda bears because neither one wants to fuck a girl. Ah, I see. I see the connection you're making there. Border laws, for example, how's Kim Jong God? Kim Jong-un? Kim Jong-il? You can't believe Deku becomes the #1 hero and crush that gravity puss puss. That's probably and it's pronounced Grussy. I think that's a different thing that you watched. That's a different thing you watched. All right, let me talk through what I've seen because I haven't finished the entirety of season 6. I think I'm just past the halfway mark or right at the halfway mark. In the beginning, we start one of the most annoying series of cuts in order to show 2 distinct battles. We've got battle where they're going into this mountain place to capture all of the villains that are there, and we've got battle at this hospital to capture this doctor and whatever might be there as well. And it cuts back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It tries to do earlier, 7 minutes ago, all this kind of stuff to try to show like a relationship. For the most part, it's okay because I was watching episode after episode after episode after episode. If this was week by week, some of the way they cut, like they cut to this place and then showed a little bit of it, that's a little funky. And it's why I think My Hero's also fallen into the Dragon Ball of last time on My Hero. Here's everything that happened previously. And then like 5 minutes later, it starts the intro theme song and then it starts like new content for the show. So every week, instead of having a continued story of like, here's more of the fight in the forest or here's more of the fight in the hospital, it has to be like, here's what's happening. Here's what's happening. Here's what's happening. And now you can watch more. So you only get like, what would that be? 18 minutes? Maybe, so minus the intro outro, we're talking, 15 minutes of new content every episode. Little garbage planning there. Little garbage planning, I think. How about it's trash? We're getting there. You can't believe Mineta finally acquired his harem. It's true. To some, you're a simple peasant. You hate Hawks. You want to see him beaten to death. Are you satisfied? Are you satisfied now? Is that good enough? Key is you have to have a preference, yet scared to speak. Last time on My Hero, some French guy left Deku cheese. They need to switch between them because one affects the other, but yeah, they planned it out poorly. Exactly. And it starts out okay. Like when they're getting ready to launch the attacks, it's like, here's one. They're talking, they're doing their plan, and then it's like, meanwhile, and then it's back over here. But then at some point, I feel like they stuck in the... I want to say they stuck in the hospital for so long that they then, when they went back to the forest, they were like 1 hour earlier. And I was like, I don't know how much time has passed. It's not like there's clocks on the walls as they're going through the hospital that'll then like indicate to me like, oh, time has passed. Here's how much time has passed. And then... they cut back and it's like, oh, I know, things are lining up in the chronology. It's like, I don't really care about the chronology, right? Show me the thing up until it affects the other thing with like an indication of how it affects, and then cut to the other one and then show me that one up until the point where it connects, right? Like there's a much simpler way to do this without having to be like 5 minutes earlier, 7 minutes later, 1 hour ago, 5 minutes before launch. Like these things are meaningless. They're meaningless little things that I look at and I'm like, wait a minute, where does that put this in the time? Like, and my brain starts trying to figure out like where it puts it in the timeline. It's like, oh, it's just all goofy. It's just all goofy. Can you imagine if every anime episode had to be 48 minutes? But every episode could be 23 minutes if they just didn't spend 5 minutes going over what they did last time. Like I said, it could be better. It could be better. Hawks actually lives and has a family like Malfoy. OMFG, y'all not where I'm at. I don't know where you're at, actually. You're talking about like values and politicals and rules. Kim Jong-un. I feels like you're hitting some like political poetry. All good. I'm just sitting here talking about silly Japanese cartoons, but you do you, bro. Stop the cap about Hawk. I like Hawk as like a character. I think it's a little weirder that they give him this like backstory of like he's been taken away from his family and trained at a secret facility his entire life. It's a weird one. It's a weird sort of back. It's like he could have just been a hero. I don't know why we had to have this like he knows my name. Like, wait, you're not 007. Like, get out of here. Everybody knows you. You're this like giant public figure. What else? What else happens? Okay, so we start our fights. We have Mirko sprinting on in to the dock, given the Bugs Bunny line, which it's one line. It doesn't. It's not distracting. It's kind of funny. Not bad. She's an interesting superhero because she's like, I can do stuff a bunny can do. And it's like the Froppy thing. They're like, I do stuff a frog does. It's like, what? What does that mean? But then, like, she's crazy strong. Like, she's just, like, every scene she's in, she's doing another, like, thigh flex that, like, makes her thighs bigger and, like, every time she's just got these, like, muscle thighs. Just, and you're like, man, I wonder, she could probably crush a watermelon without even thinking about it. So she's busting through, smashing Nomu, and there's a real interesting thing that sort of happens with like all of these pro heroes, all of these top heroes, and the Nomu. And what's weird about it in my brain is their super strength isn't a quirk. So they're still fast and strong, even when Eraser's looking at them. They just can't use powers. But aren't some people's powers that they get strong? How did they make them strong using quirks? They just bioengineer bodies that are stronger. But how did they get that strong? Like, there's a distinct level of, like, I'm like, why are these so hard? Why is this so difficult? There's so many people. It's crazy. It's not spoilers because you can read the manga. It's true, you can. Mirko becomes a quadruple paraplegic. Well, she's a single paraplegic right now, so we'll see. We'll see what happens next. She could crush a semi-truck between her thighs. It's true. She's indeed bustin'. Drugs, anime steroids, they're Japanese. How they grew / created the homunculus doesn't make sense. I don't get that either, because they say that they start out as human in order to have these high-class ones, and they just sort of graft a bunch of crap into them until they look like a Nomu with the big brain. Like, is the brain not squishy? Is it not a... Because every time they kill one by, like, smashing the brain or taking the head off. And I feel like we've got people whose powers it is, like Shield Dude is like, I can't stop him, he's regenerating. And it's like, could you not make, like, a double shield and just, like, there goes his head, and without his head brain thing, he's gonna lose it? Like, why don't you think about this? Why don't you think this? And it's not like Trigun, where it's like, oh, Vash, self-proclaimed pacifist, doesn't want to kill or hurt anybody. That is his entire stated goal, and we see him wrestle with this as a character. Why are all of the heroes pacifists? All of them. Where's the hero who's like, no, you die now, and just using some sort of void space, using his spiky bits, using his laser eyes? Like, why are all of our heroes so beta that they can't, like, just murder a monster? Like, we're not even talking about humans here. It's literal monsters, and they're like, I can't stop him. And it's like, just kill it. Like, why is this so hard to you? And the one guy that, like, we do see, like, kill a Nomu, like, kill. Well, I guess we see Mirko, like, rip one's head off. That was pretty impressive. But then, of course, she's fighting alone, and then can't keep fighting alone. But we see the one guy who, like, gets 8, but then he, like, drill pierces the heavens and takes out its brain. And it's like, how come all the people that are, like, good at, like, killing end up dying? I don't think that's how the fights normally work. Oh my goodness. Gun guy should be able to one-shot every Nomu. They all have big goopy brains up top. It's so confusing. Zombie thesis. Nomu do not need to make sense unless the show tries to make them make sense. Honestly, if they just said genetically engineered plus quirk for one quirk, I would be fine. I guess the issue comes in just when it's like there's so many people and they're like, we're fighting the Nomu, and it's like, how are there so many pro heroes but they can't fight like a Nomu? I don't know. Maybe there's just this massive gap that they don't really explain between like the top like 5 heroes and everybody else. They like the top 5 are like light years stronger, and they just never really explain that very well. But like again, all you need is some sort of power that like moves brain space, removes it, gets it away. Anyway, it's taught me the Japanese person can be punched into a brick wall and leave a slight dent. It's true. That's Hawks and Lady Nagant. Wait, who's Lady Nagant? Lady like a Mosin Nagant? As an antagonist. Oh, I just saw her. I just saw her in this latest episode, so we'll get there. We'll get there. Government sanctions the heroes, dude. They feds. And what do feds do? They feds is not an excuse for them not to murder monsters. Feds murder much less. All feds. ATF will shoot your dog. And the feds will engineer the deaths of millions. The reason they need 1 billion Nomus is because Horikoshi would actually need to think up new abilities to contest the heroes. Garo is that hero? Yeah. Just throw a big zombie guy at him. Put Garo in one of My Hero Academic and everybody fucked. Top 5 heroes are just the most popular ones. Doesn't necessarily mean strength. That's what I figured. That's what I figured. You definitely haven't seen the new MHA. I'm up to Tartarus. Tartarus is where I'm getting to in all of this. No, bro, the feds, so the cucked. Feds love murder. Look at Waco and Ruby Ridge. Yeah, like I said. Especially Ruby Ridge. They're more like CIA. Yeah, the CIA does, like, kill stuff too. Japanese feds, though. If you think the Japanese federal enforcement isn't also in the killing business, I got news for you. Anyway. We got Nomu fight. We got Shigaraki. So like 70%. And the doc's freaking out. They bust open his little tube. And he pours out of the back to tank. And when he's laying on the ground, the one guy's like, he doesn't have a pulse. And then doesn't follow up with, let me chop off his head. Even if he doesn't have, like, he appears to have laser eye power. He could have done that. I mean, maybe that's a hindsight. Maybe your initial reaction when you see something isn't to, like, take off its head. But when you've got Nomu, who have a known weakness of head removal, and a guy who you know is getting powered up and falls out of a back to tank, and you're a hero who's told this is the danger thing, and you find it, and you're like, well, it's already dead. Might as well chop off its head. That's samurai style right there. You kill your enemy, you chop off their head, because their head, you bring back the head. You don't have to carry a whole body. You just bring back the head, and you can prove like, hey, it's dead. I got it. Here's the head. Could have taken care of everything there. Right now, the EPA is racking up them bodies in Ohio. Yeah, if we're talking total count, EPA is up there. Feds with a shit ton of scrutiny on them constantly. Yeah, they aren't going to kill monsters. Did you forget the part where they're fighting monsters? Did you forget the part where the guy's already dead? I'm not saying kill indiscriminate people. I'm saying the monsters in the basement. I feel like they're like playing. Like it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. You know what it feels like? You ever play a Dynasty Warriors game? Or any of the Warriors game? Everybody around you is fighting, but they're not really doing damage to each other. They're just like doing the moves of fighting until you arrive and fight as the main character, and the story follows you around as you fight. That's what these fights feel like. Until the camera's there and looking at like a primary character, they're not really doing damage. They're just kind of sitting there going, ooh, yeah, oh, That's exactly what it feels like. It don't work. The high elite Nomu moved their brain mid-fight. But she kicked its head off and it was dead, and then the other guy used a drill in it and it died. It didn't seem to come back. Maybe they moved their brain, but like at least the first 5 and then the other like 20 or so all sort of just you know, if their brain was destroyed, they stopped moving. Reincarnation of Nobunaga and no elemental damage. So Shigaraki comes back and little electroshock brings him back, plus he hates things and he wakes up and then he uses his like superpower decay for the first time, and we finally get a good amount of like, oh, that guy's dead. And I was like, this show's a little different now. I thought this was gonna be like a real glazed over shonen. But here we are. Season 6 is like, you know what we need to do? We need to remove some heroes. And not just from the show, like from reality. And just starts murdering some foes. So we got a bunch of people run away. They're escaping. And here's where it should have said, like, meanwhile, to like the attack on, like, they should have shown like that they were like making their battle and like winning a little bit of the battle at the fortress in the mountains, and then cut over to like the hospital raid. And then once we got to this point, it goes just one single meanwhile, cuts back over and shows the scene with Hawks, and then that's where you at exactly. You felt the realization. Yep, he dead on God, no cap, for real. Itchy scratchy man go ham. You love a certain bitch dies in the show. Don't you talk about Miss Midnight that way, bastard. They get isekai'd. That is true. It's funny because you felt like that's where it nosedived. I'm not saying it gets better, mind you. So then we cut back over to oops, cancel. I need to edit this. I'm not playing the forest tonight. Just chitting. Save. Okay, Cool. Close. Soul battle is brutal for both sides. Maybe. I don't know. So then we cut back over is what I would have done to them partway through their forest battle. And they do this weird thing in the forest battle where they're like, we need these kids with their good quirks. And then they get rid of the kids. It was like, why'd you bring them along in the first place? Just have them keep fighting. Like, what? Part of bolstering your numbers seems like such a bad idea. But we get the whole Hawks and the twice thing, and that feels like it's made to be way more important than it is. Like, if you have a guy whose entire thing is like, I can't have you move, and then all of a sudden, like, somebody else shows up with your weakness, and you're like, I can't let this guy go. And you make that decision to, like, take him out and then get out of there. You've already proven you're super fast. I don't understand why you come back to fight him again. That was a weird one to me. Or are you? Dog ate and not just the food at the table, but everything. I watched the episode in complete fear. You hated Midnight? She knows what she did? Michael has issues anytime he perceives a lack of consent by individuals. Did she peg you? No, not him. Doesn't have to be him specifically for him to be worried about it. So yeah, the whole Hawks fight was a very kind of a weird one, I think, when it comes to you're there because you're like, oh, I can't let this guy do his thing, but all I'm going to do is stand here. And then, like, when I'm noticing, like, these other issues, I'm going to make a decision to kill him and then not, like, run away, roll away, get out of there. And it's like, oh, but he was under attack by the fire guy. It's like, yeah, but you already moved, like, real fast. I don't understand it. Shit, I don't understand it. She's literally the reason the dress code at the school is shit. Read the Vigilantes manga. Recap. Should have been me, not him. Michael secretly wants to be manhandled by Dami Mommy without consent confirmed. Oh, God. Anyway, we have the whole, like, fat guy bringing the kids back. That was weird, too. Again, just let them be there. Like, they don't have to, like, be on the front line, but, like, I feel like having most of those quirks there on hand would have been, you know, pretty handy. If not having more of them farther forward. And it's like, I get it. Like, they're kids and you don't want them to, but they're also, like, heroes. They all have provisional licenses. Like, I don't understand why that was such a weird segregation of the force. Then we get it in the other place. He wakes up, and then we cut, or then we're back here in our fight, and, like, guy wakes up, and the mountain guy is a weird one to me. He gets bigger. I can't, like, because he looks really small. The Giganticus guy. Gigantamungo. Gigantamachi. Machimudo. He looks really small when he's in the basement, like, looking at his little radio. But then once he, like, gets out, he's huge. So he's got to have some kind of, like, growing quirk, which is fine. But it without showing him change in size, it felt very weird that he was, like, suddenly Mount Lady sized. And then that whole, like, the whole sedative with the kids and everything felt very like Goonies Never Die. Like it was just it was like we're all fighting with our Home Alone traps to try to do this one thing that might work. And they allude to that like working later, but the whole scene, the whole part was like, huh, okay. I guess. Wait, so the mud, he can step out of the mud? I don't get it. I didn't get it. I don't understand it. The mud man's power being water, but then not being water. It was a weird one. It was a weird one. El Gigante. Like La Brava. Ant-Man 2. Anyway, that whole scene felt unnecessary, I guess. Even though they're like, oh, this actually did a thing. It's like, this seems weird. This seems like a weird thing to have chosen to put in here. But whatever. The kids fight back. Kids don't win. And then the kids cry because adults die. Which maybe this will be used as like a realization for everybody to like get their shit together, because they're like, oh, now this is real, and they'll get like stronger or something. Maybe we'll use it for something like that. But a lot of this whole season so far has felt like the Goku is losing episode, but it's like, I don't know how many episodes I've seen now of this season. How like Tartarus is 128 or something like that. And I think the first one is 116. Hold on, let's see. My Hero Academia episode titles. Haha, poor Blaine. Wait, why poor me? I don't think anything's wrong with me. Let's see. Episode. Okay, so we're 15 episodes in right now. That's where I'm at. I'm 15 episodes in. And this entire past like 15 episodes has been to be the like Goku gets beat down and then Goku's gonna have to get stronger. But instead of like Goku gets beat down, it's like everybody gets beat down, but then like Deku has to get stronger. So it's just, it feels like a lot of episodes, and it's been like every episode, like I said, you only get like 15 minutes of new content. Every time it ends, you're like, oh my gosh, like another cliffhanger. It might like, there was one episode where we started it and the title was like something part 2. I was like, oh, this is like a 2-parter. That kind of makes sense. But it's like every episode has had the same like super cliffhangers, to the point where I feel like every episode should have been like should be just the same title, part 1 through 15 at this point. Like, it's kind of crazy. Oh. That'd be a reasonable assumption, but you have yet to know. Yet to know what? Anyway, we still on MHA. Yes, it's the big MHA Monday episode. Since I have now, like I said, watched 15 episodes of the newest season, and there's still more to go. To get my thoughts out as I go, because like I said at the beginning, I liked MHA. I like My Hero. I still think I do, but it's a fully different show at this point. Because cutting back to Shigaraki and that whole thing, this gets into, again, how I like the time jumps are weird, because I feel like Aizawa Eraser has had his eyes open for like hours because I've been watching it for hours of him having his eyes open with like Juice Man over there with his water power going, hey, let me juice up them eyeballs. And just like, how long are we doing this for? While they're fighting Shigaraki, who again doesn't have his heal factor when Aizawa's looking at him. Doesn't have his powers, can't use decay, can't use any of these things. But like, they still can't like beat him? Like, I don't understand. Giant flaming punch fist to the torso, and you don't have a healing factor. And he's like, oh, his body's just so strong. What do you mean so strong? What is he made out of? What is he? Because I'm pretty sure that like body, I'm not going to Google it because that'll be a weird thing in my search history, but like the body has to burn up at a fairly low temperature, right? Like paper burns at 450, right? So the body can't be much more than that. And like all of these like fire punches appear to be well over that. It's like, how do you made like a body that withstands heat? And I'm not even talking about the final flash that he uses, like the sun power, where then like one for all or all for one is like, if I hadn't taken over your body, you would have died. And they're like, dead anyway. Like, what do you mean would have died? He doesn't have a heal factor. How is he not torched up? He's made out of platamantium. Oh my goodness. It takes a lot of heat to cremate a body. Okay, but it doesn't take much heat to boil the brain. Like, that's the part that doesn't make sense. All right, fine. How much heat does it take? How much heat to cremate? 1400 and 1600 degrees. And that leaves you with a pile of ash. Okay. Oh, thank you, Gemini. I didn't have to Google it. Do you want spoilers for stuff that comes after the current anime season? I don't care personally, but chat might be upset. You can DM me. I'm not too spoiler concerned, especially at this point, because just the whole thing is like weird. It's weird. Okay. My brain. All right, so we get like new Deku power because collect the powers of the ultimate power are now his, or unlock the powers of the ultimate power. The show is a mid spoil away, right? Show is mid spoil away, right? Yeah, there you go. That's my feeling. Anyway, so they're literally like wrapping him up, punching him. It's like, okay, punching him with super strength, with super all might strength. His body's stronger than that. I get it. For some reason, I get it. But like, again, the fire part, that's like the one that just keeps getting me. I'm like, how, what is, like, what? There's not a lot that stands up to too much heat. All right, Kevin, you have a good night. I kept being like driven nuts, like, oh wow, he really, like, I would expect, here's what it would have made more sense to me, because in the beginning of the fight, he dodges a bunch of the, like, the fire blasts, and then they start working together, and he starts landing some of the fire punchy things, and I was like, oh, maybe that'll be what, like, starts to turn the fight and all this other stuff, and it's like, you know, in his head, he's like, my body is tore up I'm dying. And he's like, I can't heal fast enough. Meanwhile, I'm still freaking fast. Like, I'm still so fast and so strong. I can fly over here, punch my hand through a dragon palm, and then flick a little thing to hit a guy in a leg. And then, here's why I watch the dub. Here's why you watch the dub. Because Eraser gets hit in the shin and whips out his little katana and just cleaves his what's the tibia and fibia? Is that the leg one? Yeah. Just cleaves through his bones. And they go, like, his leg just flies off. He's like, I'm keeping my powers, blah, blah, blah. Because I was like, in my brain, I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we get rid of Eraser's powers, and now that's what our real issue is that we no longer have the ability to neutralize powers. This could be interesting. And then he does that, and then I think it's Shigaraki. As soon as he does that, the actor's like, well, you had to be badass. And I was like, that was badass. Like, what are you talking about? That was, again, could his knife get through his shins with a guy doing it one time? Maybe. I don't really know how strong he is. But that was a fun, like, yeah, I'm ripping off my own leg so that I don't die to the or lose my power to the poison. And then he's like, he's badass. And he's like, yeah, he is badass. Thank you for confirming that, show. Eraser Man quick with the Tonto. He is. He's whipping that out and slicing it through. And then Gigantic Man or whatever shows up, and they finally, well, I guess there's more fighting because Eraser looked away for a minute, so he had some powers come back, and then he gets erased again, and then Deku's doing like his floaty punch whip thing, which is like, again, you've got whip powers, magic whip powers, and you're known to be really strong. I don't think there's a muscle in your body that you can flex to stop someone from choking you out. Like, I've seen some guys that do neck day all day. Shoulder shrugs. That's all they do. Tie the thing to their head and, like, pull against the wall, and they just get these necks, right? Old fat necks. Muscle necks. Those guys still get brain pass out when you lock them up. How is it guy with whips doesn't just, like, choke out other guy? Doesn't have to kill him. Like, we can let him live, I suppose. But, like, how is wrap whip around neck and choke till unconscious? How is that not step one? Why is it wrap around shoulder, keep his arms from moving and keep punching him? And it's like, he's not dying from punches. Why not just choke him out? Why are we messing around here? And it gets worse, trust me. And then Big Boy makes it to the group, and he's got his buddies from the team, and then we find out, oh, the Dobby Flame guy is actually connected to the family. He's the son that everyone thought was dead. Anybody can get choked out. Jamie, play the Eddie Bravo story about Kimmy. Jamie, can you put that on? Jamie, give me a link. Give me a link. So, big guy shows up. We get the big reveal. Big fire guy has like a panic attack on the battlefield because of course he does. Then Best Jeanist, the man in the Canadian tuxedo with a belt buckle that reads BJ, shows up and has the power to control fibers. Okay. They gave it a vague title, so my brain was, because they're like, oh no, it's him. He's here. It's him. And I was like, wait a minute. Power to control fibers. Does this mean he can control muscle fibers? Are nerves fiber? Like, I was going straight into like the blood bending. Like, this could be kind of interesting. Let's see how this fight turns out. No! He just brings cable, which is made of fibers. He has a bunch of really strong cables that he ties everybody up with. You know what he doesn't do? He doesn't wrap everybody's neck and immediately start trying to choke them out. He sits there with everybody tied up, being like, I'm gonna hold you all. Then he's like coughing blood, and then he's like crying blood, and he's doing all this like, I'm holding him. And then he's like, blackout squeeze. And then like towards the end of the fight, he's like, oh, I'm gonna squeeze them all till they pass out. But nobody's got ropes around their neck. Nobody's gonna get choked out till they actually pass out. Like, this isn't, it's not where it is. And then this whole like quirks in your body that are somebody else's can take over your personality. That's a weird thing that I don't feel is like really well fleshed out. What if he had razor wire? Exactly. What if he just had a bunch of piano cable? Those are thread-like. You're here again, had to explain to your friend that he's retarded. I hope that went well. All right, here we go. We're gonna do it in this camera mode, I think. Here we go.
Hey, listen.
Wait, hold on. You guys can hear it, but I can't hear it. Give me a second. Here we go.
High school, we used to choke each other out. That's like a DMT. Go ahead and choke me out on air.
No. Please don't.
That
would be hilarious.
Please don't.
I'm not scared. Let's do it.
No. Eddie, don't.
Do it.
Please
Let's do
don't
it.
choke him unconscious.
Do it now. I'm
Please
not scared.
don't.
Let's go. You know
Just
what?
tell him.
Do it. Do it now. Do it now. Let's go. Come on. Lee grew in it. It didn't. He's still scared that the internet's gonna literally die soon. Oh no. Imagine Shirogane from Kaguya, except dumber. Got it.
Stop being pussies. Choke me out.
You know what?
Hey.
Let me tell you a story first. Back when I used to work at the strip
Hey,
club,
it only takes like 20 seconds.
back when I was a blue belt,
I was a blue belt. I love the little facts people give in stories that at the end of the day don't matter, but they feel like it makes their story more true. And when you hear a lot of little details, your brain, it tricks yourself into thinking, well, they got a lot of little details. It must be true. I find those fascinating. Whether or not they're true or not, who cares? But like the blue belt thing's hilarious.
1995, I worked at the strip club, and there was this girl I was dating. She was a bartender. She was seriously 4'10", and
Why
she
are
weighed,
the bartenders and waitresses always the best looking at strip clubs?
I don't know, but
Because
you gotta let him.
I will.
She was 92 pounds, bartender, the smallest girl.
A spinner.
And I showed her how to do a rear naked choke. She was tiny. Her name was Kimmy, and the strip club manager was your size, big, like used to be buff, but
Fat ass.
yeah, but used to be.
Have you ever seen a fat guy that doesn't own being fat? That's embarrassing. Fat guys that own being fat, they're a joy. They are a straight joy.
Buff. You could tell you used to
Thick
be buff.
Football player type.
Big manager, and he didn't believe in jiu-jitsu at all. And he said, if she could choke me out with one of them jiu-jitsu moves, I'll give her the keys to my Corvette. So she had to literally get on a bar stool and had to go around him, and she went like this. And he was just like this. And then he went out, lights out. So he hits the ground, and then he pops back.
That is so true. Like, people don't understand how much of a human standing is at ready to just collapse. Soon as somebody passes out and there's nothing to them, they are just a bag of rocks. They just, a bag of sand.
Back up. And he didn't know what the fuck happened. He was just sitting there going,
No, you get passed out, you go to the
He didn't
plant.
know what happened. I thought he faked it. People usually don't hit the ground and pop back up. Usually they hit the ground, they're done, and they need an ambulance.
Right.
But he
Well, in a fight, I'm guessing people hit the ground. They need an ambulance. But like, that there's a lot of people that will pass out, and then like as soon as you let go, the blood comes back, the air comes back. They just kick back to get back to life. There's an adrenaline shot that comes post. It's like the adrenaline shows up right as they're passing out. And then as soon as the air comes back in, as soon as the blood starts to flow, they're like, and they have like all this crazy adrenaline. So I've seen the Jack in the Box before.
popped right back up. And he's like, what happened? I'm like, bitch, you need to give her your Corvette.
I'll pop right back up.
It was a gold Corvette.
No, this was a thing. I didn't know about this. About in 7th grade during lunch, some of the kids would choke each other out. You put your hands up on their neck. But then it'd be like the cheerleaders wanted to be choked out. And then they would choke us out. I probably did it about 300
Where
times.
did you go to school?
Exactly. Anybody can get choked out by anything small enough to get around their neck. It's why you don't go to sleep with headphones on. Like Shinji. You're going to roll over and choke yourself in the middle of your sleep. It's a no-go. That's a no-go. Anyway. Best Genius shows up. Everyone's like, woo. And then it's just like, he's just holding people. No move fight stuff. And you're like, what have you guys been doing? They're like, we've already lost so many heroes. It's like, why? Why? What are all your powers? Is nobody coordinating power usage around here? Is it just my RTS brain that's like, oh, if we just combine this power with this power, we can just stop it? Why is Todoroki only using fire against his bro and not using ice? Like, give him a big bear hug and then just like ice cavern yourself so that he can't start a fire. That makes sense. Get rid of the oxygen. There's no oxygen around him. It's dumb. It's dumb. Midoriya beats himself up again while he's fighting. Can't do shit. Starts using floppy tongue, which is funny. And then flashback episode, which I'm sorry, this manga's farther ahead than this. We do not need flashback episode to be like, what happened just now? Just give me the what happens next. Why are you giving me a flashback? I hate this. I hate episode 14. That's the problem. They're Japanese, so naturally they're weaker RTS players created stock grades. Oh, I get it. I get it now. That makes a lot more sense. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. My first RTS was Lego Rock Raiders. And then we get the prison. So it's like, oh, they get away enough. And for some reason, the Quark version of All For One is still controlling Shigaraki. But it's not actually Shigaraki controlling Shigaraki. It's just All For One's consciousness controlling Shigaraki. I guess. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. I don't quite understand it. I don't quite get it. They try to explain it with like transplants bringing new emotions into the transplant patient and it being like phantom personality disorder or something. But it doesn't make sense because if you change your personality after getting a liver transplant, I say that because I'm drinking, you don't just become the liver donor, but you could theoretically get some of their emotions if that particular organ governed the hormone that gives you those emotions and feelings. So that's a weird thing in the series. Anyway, Jamie, play Collective Consciousness from MGR Revengeance. You just got Johnny Silver-handed? I did? So then, That's where I'm at. Bunch of villains are free. Bunch of people are not happy with the heroes. A bunch of people hate Endeavor now because he's a big meanie to his family. And yeah, it feels like I should care about the society at large. The fact that aesthetically, they've released villains onto the populace, and the populace should be dealing with this sort of new anarchy that's sort of descending onto the cities and towns. But I'm not. Because all of the people of the populace who should be affected by this newfound anarchy are wasting their time protesting outside of a hospital that the heroes inside are bad people, are doing the wrong thing, should be questioned. They're not dealing with the fact that they're in chaos. They're standing outside of a hospital. So that makes me think that it's not really that big a deal that all of these villains have been released. The entire focus, because of that, is on the heroes, and specifically the hero that has a chance of winning, which of course we know is going to be all one for all. I always get those backwards. So we're so focused on Deku, and Deku unlocking all the other powers, that we've basically fallen from interesting societal ideas to, will Goku get strong enough next time? Will his Saiyan genes allow him to get stronger after this last battle? Is that what will happen for our Deku? Will he get strong enough in order to beat him next time? And that's the only thing we're focused on. Maybe if one of the students died in the fight, because we killed off lots of pro heroes, but if one of the students had died, and not just like, oh, they got caught up in a blast or they got caught in something, but like specifically had gotten caught by Gigantomachi Mungo and like squished, like, and actually like died. It would have been a little more like, oh, there's actually people interesting that are, fairly plot protected, that are able to be lost in this sort of situation. The other thing is, what about the rest of the world? What is going on everywhere else? We were like Michael brings up this idea of like, oh, they're a bunch of cucked Japanese heroes, so they couldn't kill. Why aren't there other heroes in other societies that are helping with this fight? Like, where is the global stage? Because all we ever look at is Japan. And it's like, I will be the demon king of the world. And it's like, I think if you said that, even China would be like, oh, we're gonna help you with this one. We're gonna make sure this one doesn't go anywhere. The thing with the prisons is greatly exaggerated when it happens. It's downplayed later. It makes a little more sense. What about the little girl who can turn back a person's time and heal them fully? Oh, you're getting to my last point. I was saving this for the last, so we'll talk about it now. That's a plot point later, Blader. Okay. As long as they bring that into some sort of reference, that's okay. But that's the final bit right there, is we have Dude Bro who lost his quirk back with his quirk because little Ari can turn back time. She can turn back time. And bring people's quirks back. So as soon as she shows up, Now, I don't know about the death. Like, maybe death is like she can't reverse death. But, like, everybody else who's injured, can they not just get rewound? Start by rewinding Eraser, and he'll glare at you real quick as soon as, like, he's good enough. And then we can have Ari's reverse time, and Eraser's stop her if she loses control. Literally just fix everybody. Fix all of the bad. What, like, my brain is like, wow, they really raised the stakes. They're really trying to make this seem so much more important. And then I see Lemillion zooming around in and out of things. And I'm not a fan of Lemillion either, because it's like, I can go through things, but I'm also super crazy strong man. And it's like, uh-oh. That doesn't make sense to me. But he's back, and he's got his power back, and everything's fine. So anybody that got, like, if Eraser had gotten hit with the thing, Ari time reverse, suddenly she just becomes like this solution at all times. She can erase the all for one quirk from the bad guy. She can rewind Shigaraki until he's a child. Like, and she could have done that for us if we had choked him out. Terrible East Coast internet. It's okay, Fansite. We'll catch you up. How dare you criticize the Japanese Tintin? I just there was that when we're losing sight of all of the interesting world building, and then we're trying to focus in on like a hero v hero thing. And it's all about these two quirks, and these two quirks are gonna be the ones that like duke it out. But then you tell me that we have this like ultimate button that will just fix any problem that comes along. That's why the ending of episode 15, I got the spoiler gun up. We're ending of episode 15. Deku hasn't awoken. Rewind him. Why are we waiting? Rewind him. Why is Aizawa still not have a leg? Where's Ari? Rewind leg cut. Like, why is any of this happening? She can literally unalive people. That's true. That's true. She can. That's why she pairs up with Aizawa, so that he can erase her quirk anytime that she starts to like go out of control or starts to rewind it a little too much. That exact thing will fix it all. And you just have the two of them fix things. Just doesn't, it just drives me nuts. It's like, I hate it, I think, more than the Dragon Ball Z reincarnation trope. The fact that the Dragon Balls can just fix things. Because in Dragon Ball, the Dragon Balls can fix things, and they had to up it to like these Namekian Dragon Balls that were more powerful because they were the Dragon Balls created by the people that made the Dragon Balls. And then they up it again to like Dragon Balls that are like planet size that allow you to make like a multi-universal answer. And so you have sort of these tiers and this task to accomplish in order to get to the wish stage of all of that. So you've got your Dragon's Wish that can fix things, but the time limit, the wish count limits, there's things that are in place that make that so that it's more okay as a post-season wrap things up and bring back the status quo. Whereas this doesn't appear to have, like, obviously someone's gonna be like deeper in the manga and be like, well, actually what you don't know is that if she uses your power 25 times, she dies, you know, or something like that. Like there's something I may not know, but as it stands, I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. I'm not like, oh, what are they going to do? Oh no, what comes next? How will they solve this? Because my brain's just like, rewind it. Just rewind it. Okay, rewind it. Read it! No, I will not read it. This is an anime channel. Last time you people made me read a manga, that manga ended up being boring. What you don't know is how he manages to make it dumber. Uh-oh. Eri ain't that deep. They just don't use her for the longest time. It made sense initially that like she didn't have control and she was gonna go wild or whatever. But the fact that we see Lemillion fixed means she can do it. So that whole thing is just dumb. And that is where I'm at. That's where I'm at, and that's how I feel about My Hero Academia. I went into this season with an open mind because I had heard a lot of like, oh, just wait till this season. There's a lot of stuff you can't wait for. And I was already kind of like, I don't know where we're going. Like, we're getting a lot of stuff coming in season 5 where I was like, this feels like they're doing a lot of setup for something that better pay off. So I had a real like better payoff feeling so far for season 6 here. But thus far in season 6, every time an episode ends, there's some part of it where Waifu and I look at each other and we're like, why didn't they just do this? All right, next. Let's see what they do instead. I'm compelled to continue watching it the same way most people are compelled to Google the aftermath of Ohio. It just doesn't, you're like, whoa, it affected that? Whoa, that went that far? But you're not like happy about it. You're like, just like, what happened here? What is this? So I have a strange compulsion on my hands now that have caused me to watch basically only that all weekend. Except for Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. I also watched the first episode of Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible, and holy shamoly, that is adorable. That's adorable. How do I not have a page full of memes of Kubo's face? How is it that Twitter has not just created an entire catalog of Kubo's face reactions that are just flooding everything? I saw Bocchi coming out my ass. Probably literally, given the way that show was drawn. I want to see Kubo's face everywhere. How have I not seen this yet? Get on it. Where's the meme stonks? You said this? Congratulations! I only just saw it. Because Anya? Why would Anya stop that, though? Anya's not this season. Anya's so last season. Although maybe it's just the people I follow, because I don't get Anya memes either. Twitter's too busy talking about Hogwarts and Tomo being trained. I think I also watched an extra episode of Tomo-chan. The beach episode of Tomo-chan. If somebody thinks that Tomo is trans after watching that beach episode, they be blind, deaf, and dumb. And obviously dumb in the mental sense, not in the inability to talk, because they're spewing out their idiocy. If you still have that thought about Tomo after seeing her sidling on up to Jun-kun at the beach, enjoying their soft cream together, y'all dumb, y'all morons, y'all silly. Why you got to do this, huh? There's plenty of Fuda in anime. Just go enjoy those instead. Why you got to show up and try to make Tomboy into something they're not? Get out of here. Get out of here. Welcome to the internet. What you wanted can be found. I forget all the words to that song, but it's hilarious. If you haven't heard Bo Burnham's Welcome to the Internet, enjoy that. 2 minutes, 3 minutes that I just created in your life? There's soft cream. Is that what you youngins call it these days? That's what Japanese call it, actually. Soft cream. It's their term for soft serve. Like we say ice cream, but if you think about it, ice cream can be either soft serve or it can be hard cream, which is also a weird thing to say. Oh, you want to get some hard cream? Probably not the best thing to go get, but yeah, soft cream is the Japanese term for soft serve, and then ice cream always means the hard ice cream. People call Yamato trans, so people will be that dumb. Yeah. I mean, it's just people argue to be individual and special like snowflakes, but then also argue that everything is like them, and it's not. That's just not how the world is. You can't be both special and unique and have a shared status. This is not how things work in the world. You don't like Bo Burnham? Well, you don't like Bo Burnham, or you don't like the Welcome to the Internet song? Why don't you like Bo Burnham? I'm interested in that question. Do you not like modern Bo Burnham or old Bo Burnham? Because old Bo Burnham was quite funny. You don't like meta humor. What? If the joke lands, the joke lands. Just because it's meta doesn't mean it's not funny. You had Hawaiian shave ice the other day and it was great. He had POG and ube, so you got those. What's Pog? The heck is POG? Like the pomegranate palm and ube? I don't know what that means. Sounds more of a George Lopez guy. Remind you of the cringe line from AOT. Yeah, you don't find it funny. Huh. Meta humor can be funny once a series. I guess. It, like I said, it depends on the joke. Like, I don't think meta jokes outright aren't funny. They have an easier way of being not funny, because a lot of meta jokes and meta humor is sort of the Seinfeld, like, can you believe that airplanes serve food in a tray? And it's like, yeah, I know that's literally, we're talking about airplane food here. Like, what's so funny? And it's just like the joke is the fact that it occurs and not, you know, an actual commentary on the thing. So like it's definitely harder to, or no, it's not harder to pull off a good joke, but it's easier to fall into the just pointing something out, right? Like a lot of meta jokes are just like, this is a game, and it's like, okay, like press an X button, whatever that means, and it's like, that wasn't funny. That wasn't a very good meta joke. So I could see not liking that kind of meta humor. But I don't know. I also don't dismiss things outright, unless they're, you know, like really bad. Like there's a lot of, there are things that you can dismiss outright, but categorically, I don't know, they have to be pretty awful to write them off outright. POG, pineapple, orange, and guava. Huh. Okay. I like pineapple. And I like orange. I know I've had guava juice, like the Hanson Brothers guava juice, but like I could not tell you what guava tastes like. It's not in my taste repertoire. Yes, meta irony. It's true. Oh my goodness. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. You dismiss people whining about misogyny all the time. Dismiss people whining about misogyny all the time. I wouldn't do that because sometimes people complaining about misogyny is hilarious. Because they're always well-to-do white women bitching about misogyny. And it's like, lady, you don't even know what it's like to get kicked out of an apartment, much or miss a utility bill. I'm sorry. I'll listen to your complaints later. For right now, they just fuel my humor. The joke is not that you copied the Seinfeld airplane joke. What's the deal with X is the joke now. Exactly. Eyes glazed over at work while watching this active shooter video. Oh, are you watching an active shooter training video? First, flee. If you cannot flee, then fight. Fight for your life, you little bitch. Like that, there's the end of the active shooter training video. Run away if you can, and if you can't run away, fight. Like, step 1, step 2. POG is a mix of the three. Pog and vodka is a popular drink. Oh, I figured, yeah, that POG was the combination of the three. I just don't know what guava tastes like. What's the deal with Blaine's podcast? He's done talking about My Hero on Monday, but he's still live. They promote fighting now. That just changed a few years ago. Before it was run and hide. Now it's run or fight, right? Do I get an award now? Yes, you get the chat funniest mod award. That's your new title. Why did I open up a new tab? What the hell am I doing here? I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm done. I'm done talking about anime. Talking about all the anime I watched this weekend. I watched a lot of My Hero. You get killed faster hiding. Unless you're really good at hiding. You know, like, you ever play Sardines? That's what we always called it growing up. Where one person hides and everybody tries to find them. And if you find the person who's hiding, the two of you have to then go find a new hiding spot. And it continues on until there's only one person left who's still seeking, and they lose. I was pretty good at that game. Now, granted, I had been in that church since I was a fetus, so I knew every hiding spot imaginable. You couldn't go somewhere in that building I couldn't find. No Handyman Saito? No Handyman Saito. I'm waiting for Handyman Saito to pile up so that I can kind of burn through it. The short vignette series feeling. I don't like just getting like 3 or 4 in a weekend. Blaine, do you think we played games outside? No, we didn't actually play it outside. We played it in the building. Never heard of it. You remember Recess? I remember Recess. You remember Berries? Talk about Steven Universe? No, I'm tired. I had almost done with my generator cage. Soundproofing it, making it so that it doesn't reverberate to where the customers are, but also doesn't choke itself on carbon monoxide. Those are my two things I gotta solve there. What other shoes did you catch up on? I think you mean shows. What other shows did I catch up on? Like I said, this weekend I've watched 15 episodes of My Hero Academia. Let's see, what else? If I sort this by last updated. Grace of the Gods was amazing. He has deodorizer slime for women now. That's amazing. I need to catch up on that one. Revenger, I've watched episode 5. I'm still laughing at our doctor, bro. Doctor's like my favorite character. Obviously some sort of ex-pirate who now wields harpoon arrows. He's got the Dragon Slayer bow. It's just amazing. Really, really having fun with that. Farming Life in Another World. I think we're okay. When we got that wider world of sports with the dragon that noticed them and then the demon kingdom that noticed them, I was like, uh-oh, are we going to get bigger plot points here? But then those plot points just turn into, let's have trade and commerce. It feels like the next evolution of the game that he's playing. So I'm still happy with Farming Life in Another World. That one's really good. Tokyo Revengers. I feel like we're at kind of like a turning point right now in our current plot. I think the most interesting thing about Tokyo Revengers so far is how many episodes are taking place in this one little fight scene, whereas last time there was a lot of like back and forth that went on. We shall see how it continues. I think if the fight drags on too much more, it could get a little more like, okay, next. Come on, let's get to it. When do we have the completion of this battle? This is taking forever. But for right now, I think we're still in that sweet spot where it's really good. Make sure there's a direct exhaust line between the interior and the exhaust. Good times. Luckily, the entire generator cage is external, so there is no penetration to the inside of the trailer. And I'm just trying to make a little soundproof cubby. But because I need to be able to like get in and access the generators, it's not a full 6-wall die or anything like that I put them inside. It's just a three that sort of redirect the sound away from the trailer, basically. You hid wait, hold on. Oh, I should make that. You hid yourself in a single floor apartment with one bedroom, a small shower, living room with tiny kitchen for 2 hours. My girlfriend couldn't find me. Just watch ER videos about Steven Universe. All you need to see. I will do that. Guess where I hid? Behind the door, maybe. Seems like one of those like obvious places, but someone would never look at. 15 of a shit show. Wow. I feel like I've adequately explained everything. Because those 15 episodes, really, they're like 7 of any other show that you watch. Farming Life, you hated it. He has taxes now. RIP! Farming Life proves that you don't be the first person to bring numbers into a negotiation. Never, unless required by law or attitude, be the first person to bring numbers into a negotiation. I learned this a long time ago, buying and selling guns. When someone comes in to sell a gun, figure out what they want for it. Because you come in what they consider to be too low, even though it's the market value of the gun, you make them mad. You come in too high, they get excited, they sell immediately. You could have gotten a better deal. You let them say the number first, and then whatever that number is, you can either begin negotiation if you still intend to do business, or if the number is wildly great, you can be like, I can't come close to that. But you can go here if you want to try to sell it privately, or do a whatever the 5.9 whatever transfer is. Okay. Never be the first person. So when dude shows up, like, I'm here from the Demon King, don't be like, hey, I'll give you tax money. No. No. Dude shows up, says, I'm an envoy of the Demon King. You say, welcome. Enjoy some food. What do you need? Like, what are you here for? Why are you here? What's up? Talk to me. Don't just like say, I'll do a thing. Like, sure, he gets like praised later. They're like, oh, we will pay very little in taxes compared to everyone else. You probably could have gotten away with just being there. You know, if the guy was like, I'm just here from the demon lord to see what you're up to. And you're like, well, I'm farming. And you'd be like, cool. Enjoy your farming. And then would leave, right? He's just there as like a little scout envoy. Doesn't have to give up anything. And he's dumb. He's dumb. In my bed, it's a wooden box bed. You lift the mattress and the bottom and you can get into it. Oh, funny. Then you need to fix that? I don't think you understand, Shum. Here. Allow me to explain in the dumbest way possible. Here we go. Paint! So, here's the box that is my trailer, right? Here's the little concession window. Here's the tongue, and the tongue hooks on, right? So this is what the trailer looks like. This is the wall of the trailer. So there is a cage, an open cage on the front of my trailer that has two things. The top is my mini split. So this is my airflow for like my AC unit, right? But the only thing that this leads to is the pipes that go in to do the AC transfer for the mini split. And then this cage is an open, vented to the atmosphere cage external of the external wall of the trailer. And in this cage, what I'm doing is I have 3 sides. So side 1, side 2, and then side 3 that I'm putting together. So you wouldn't be able to see this with handles so that I can put the generator into here. So generator sits in here. And then you can just shove this entire thing with the handles into the generator cage that's external. And if we're at a location that allows it, I can remove it. I can set my generator up, and then I can take this this insulation piece here, this sound buffer, and I can flip it over and put it on top so that I have basically 3 walls like this that would direct sound out and away from wherever my trailer is. So that's what I'm doing there. Nah, so what was the proper response? You can be polite. What do you need? What do you want? But carbon monoxide is a great gas. It is. It is a fantastic gas. Blaine drawing a manga now. Chainsaw Man food truck. Exactly. That's what I just told you. You fear the carbon monoxide buildup in the trailer. And that's what gets you there. His food truck will be better than Chainsaw Man. Different for sure. Your cat just distracted you. How do you spank a cat? Usually it's on like the nose. If they're biting or if they're doing anything sort of with their mouth. Like I had a cat that used to try to eat plastic bags. And so you give it like a quick pop on the nose because cats are no, don't eat the plastic. Cats don't speak English. They need like some sort of like that was pain response. I don't know. I feel like anywhere else that you would potentially punish a cat, you'd end up like throwing off its hips or hurting, like doing something else that just not worth it. So depending on what happened, use a nose boop. Back, you won your league match. Nice, congratulations. They only speak bops. Anyway. I think that's it. High Card gave us a backstory to talk about that. High Card was like, here's the history of the cards. And you're like, cool. It still doesn't make sense. It's still just magic. So I don't know why. I don't feel like the background story for the cards helped me understand the cards better. In fact, I think I was more confused, especially with how is one of the cards gun when we're talking knights? Doesn't make any sense. I don't like it. I don't like the backstory. I think we could have done without that backstory. Just let them be magic fun cards. That'll be fine. Your cat, all you do is call its name and it stops. Stops what? Stops what is the question. What did win Kevin? It's true. But then it starts cursing at you. Yep, snap your fingers at mouse. High card equals still dumb. It's fun. It's dumb fun. I just don't think they need to explain things. She didn't yell at me, but she ran up to me and made a pat noise at me. A pat noise? It does imbecile to mold magic. It's easier to understand it. Sorry, imbecile? I don't know. Oh, just low elo. Got it. You're bored watching High Card today. If it was a dub episode, you would have been playing on the phone. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Oh, wait. I need to actually update my... Let me update the fact that I'm watching Kubo. Kubo wa doko desu ka? Kubo won't let me be alone. Alone. Where you at, Kubo? Kubo won't let me be invisible. Oh, it's not even on my list. Oh, I'll add that, I guess, to winter 2023. Riot push rank on phone and something. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Risk. Got it. Thank you very much for being here tonight. Thank you for hanging out while I ranted about the current My Hero season. I'd like to say I look forward to finishing season 6, but I do so that I can just be done watching it, figure out where it went. I don't know why I have this compulsion, but I do. And I'm glad that I have a great support group like all of you to tell me exactly what I feel about it. Thank you. Thank you for doing that for me as I plod through this story. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, everybody. Kampai.